All right.
I have some pretty interesting questions. I think they're a bit thought provoking, a little bit more than anything. But before we get into those questions, I think we want to give our audience a bit of a taste about all this awesome life that you've had and what you're not
Whoa.
sharing with the world.
Let's lower that bar about 100 feet, please.
All right, lower it as much as you like. We're going to get into it, and the bar is going to go up. There's no hiding
Oh
it.
God, oh God. Just okay, so just before we get into this, just so our listeners are aware, this week we're doing an interview on me, apparently, allegedly. And then next week we're gonna get to know Richard before we get into the holidays, and then we're gonna take a couple weeks hiatus, and we're gonna come back with some great guests in the new year that we've already got lined up. We're super excited for. Um, but yeah, in the meantime, do us a favor, right? It's the holiday season, the season of giving. If you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel, go ahead and that's a great place to start. Make sure you're following us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts. And Richard's been throwing some great content up on our Instagram page as well. That's just exploding over there, Richard. Now exploding in terms of like a small channel. I think we're at like 60 some odd followers. Um, Guys, if we get to 100 before the new year, I'm gonna be jazzed. And I haven't ran this by Richard, but I'm thinking like maybe we should like do some kind of contest or giveaway or something if we reach 100 followers before the end of Instagram. I'm just throwing it out there. We'll talk about it after this episode, and maybe there's something there.
Yeah, I've been
So
the love on
yeah,
Instagram has been nice. I think listening to a full podcast is quite the dedication. It takes quite the commitment to go through the whole thing, and so to give people a bit of a taste of these parts of the podcast, I think is just that's how human brains work nowadays, right? We just ingest short content, long content. Takes a commitment. Uh,
right.
so I don't know. It's been nice, but a lot of the power to all our guests that have been kind of supporting us and coming on and
Round of
having honestly
Where's the
great
applause track?
conversations.
We got to find an applause track for them. Yeah. Woo.
Yeah, like we have an audience. But yeah, so today, Ben, this is about you.
Oh God. All right.
Um, just like our guests, we are entrepreneurs as well. We have our own journey. We have our own lessons that we've had to learn along the way,
Mm-hmm.
hardships, but also exciting moments. And so I want to touch a bit on a few of those things. But
All
before we
right.
get into that, we got to know a bit about how Ben became Ben, or Benjamin became Ben, because you started as Benjamin, I assume.
Yes.
That's your real name.
Yeah. It was a cold winter night in 1990.
Yeah, one of my questions is kind of about being born in 1990 and what that life is like. Um, I'm a 94, so probably similarities, but you're just 4 more years before the internet, 4 more years before some of these things, before they hit me, like cell phones and everything. So, um,
Right.
where did you grow up? Like, where were you born? Where did you grow up? And if people aren't familiar with that area, tell us about that area.
All right. Well, I was actually born in our nation's capital, in Ottawa,
Uh,
um, by mistake. So my parents, from what I understand, were helping some friends of theirs move. I don't know what my mom was thinking, being that many weeks pregnant, but I showed up 5 weeks early, unannounced, and yeah, came into the world. And but then yeah, I grew up in a place called Mattawa, Ontario. So if you're not familiar with the area, um, drive north. Once you hit North Bay, turn to the east. Take 17 for another 45 minutes. You'll hit Mattawa. 2,500 people. Real small town.
if someone was familiar with Mattawa, what would they be familiar? Like, what would be familiar about Mattawa? What is it known for?
Oh, what is it known for? Well, I mean, so growing up, we had these like a festival every summer called Voyager Days. It still happens every summer. You get a few thousand people come to town. There's usually concerts. I mean, Troopers like always there.
Ooh.
Yeah, yeah, no, it's a pretty good time. Since then, my brother actually he owns a trucking company in Mattawa, and he's taken on all these like festivals. So he got really big into truck racing. So now Mattawa's actually become a bit of a hub for truck racing and rodeo. So there's a festival called Smoke and Spurs that happens there every year. Used to be in Powassan, but my brother took it over, brought it to Mattawa. And then there's a truck race that used to be in Notre Dame. They couldn't use the main strip there anymore to do the truck racing, so my brother brought it to Mattawa. So he's really, I'll give some kudos to my brother here, and if I doubt he's listening. I don't know if he knows what a podcast is, to be perfectly honest, but he's brought quite a bit of economic development, I think, to that area. So, yeah, it's definitely there's some tourist attractions there now, which is great. Oh, and the Thai restaurant, 10 out of 10.
Gotta appreciate
Yeah,
the little
Mattawa,
things in the small towns, right?
right? Right? Mattawa's Thai food scene is unbeatable.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And that's pretty cool. So the Robitaille name, I'm assuming your brother, does he go by Robitaille?
No, no. So my brother, I'm a blended family. So there's a yours, mine, and ours kind of thing going on. So my dad has like my brother from a previous marriage. My mom had my sister and my other brother from previous marriage, and they have me together. So my brother's an Anderson,
I see.
Mr. Anderson.
Nice.
Yes, yes.
And in the size of like scale, just because I
Mhm.
assume a lot of our listeners are local, how does that compare in
Yeah.
size, like population wise, and size of town compared to Midland?
Definitely smaller.
Really? Okay.
Much, much smaller. Well, Mattawa itself. I mean, you pop over to North Bay, and I'd say North Bay is comparable to sort of like Midland, Penetang, and surrounding areas. So North Bay's got about 56,000 people. Whereas I think when you add Midland and Penetang together, we get up towards that like 30 number. So if you include Tiny Tay, we're getting pretty close. Um, so I mean, again, all the necessities, like you've got your movie theater, your grocery stores, your shopping, all your necessities there. So I'd say
Cool.
they're pretty on par.
Nice. Yeah, never been. I think maybe Pembroke is probably the closest I've been up that way. I don't know how far it is from where that is, but
So when you hit North Bay and turn east, if you keep going another like 2 hours past Mattawa, you hit Pembroke.
right.
Yeah.
Cool. So you grew up in Mattawa, early '90s. Did you live there pretty much most of your life?
Yeah, yeah. Until I left, I mean, I ended up going to high school in North Bay because my mom's been the secretary at the high school for 138 years. So
Sounds like a long bus ride,
uh,
man. Or did
it,
you get a ride to
you
school?
Well, so I was fortunate enough. My dad always had a couple of used cars kicking around. So when I got my license, I was able to snag a car and drive myself to school, which took a little bit of time off. But no, I was an hour 15 on the bus every morning, hour 20 on the way home. But then again, I was very fortunate. My parents were very involved, let me do any kind of extracurriculars that really I wanted to do. So after school, I'd usually hang around, do whatever sport I was doing. My parents would pick me up, we'd have dinner, and go do the other sport I was doing afterwards. So um, yeah, a lot of late nights, and then it turned into like. I had friends whose parents they had a spare bedroom. We were close, so they would let me crash. Like I was like half living at a friend's house out of convenience, not because there was anything wrong with my house other than it being farther away. So um,
That's good
yeah,
experience.
yeah,
I think it's good experience to be in other people's houses as you grow up because you get to see how other people live, and it's not the same as you, and what they eat, and how their habits and what
yeah.
they interact. Right. So,
And I think
being a
that
teenager
there's a
is
sense
good.
of independence too, where like um, I wanted to because they were letting me stay there, and like they weren't charging me rent or anything like that. It was just like, how can I help? How can I give back in this household as well as like you know my own.
Show more appreciation to other people's parents than your own. I think we're all
Yeah,
guilty of
yeah,
that.
right. Yeah,
Go to someone else's house and they tell your parents how much of an angel you are, and
right.
your parents are just like, what?
Yeah,
Cool. So you would say your high school experience was pretty standard. Any
yeah.
interesting lessons learned in high school in North
Oh
Bay?
God, probably, but I was too ignorant to like actually take them in.
Life of a
Yeah,
teenager,
I went
man.
to. Yeah, no, absolutely. I went to French school. So I went to École secondaire catholique Algonquin. We didn't have any of this like immersion stuff. It was either like French or
What?
English.
Huh.
So like my first like English classes in school were university. So there was a little bit of like a learning curve with like switching over languages when I got to Western, but um yeah, man, like high school was fun. We were a pretty small like group in the grand scheme of things. I think there was like a total of like 120 people in my grade, if that. And everyone, I mean, obviously you have your cliques and everything, but I feel like everyone sort of got on pretty well.
Yeah, I think bigger schools, and just from my experience, it becomes more clicky because you don't have the capacity to include so many people. You know what I mean? So people just naturally divide or
Right.
separate. So yeah, that's pretty cool. I didn't know about the French thing. Did your parents, are
Oui,
they
monsieur.
bilingual or did? Uh,
Yeah, so my mom's parents, it's actually really funny. My mom's mom was a war bride. So my grandfather went over to England, who was stationed there during the Second World War. A very thick French accent. Meets my grandmother and says, "Hello, come back to Mattawa with me." Um, this prim and proper British lady says, "Oh, Ottawa, yes, I would love to come with you and start a family and have lots of babies." And um, she gets back to Mattawa and she's like, "Where the hell did I land?" Um, but 8 children later, they made it work. So yeah, so they're 50-50. My mom spoke French in the house growing up, as well as, I mean, proper English. And then my dad's family, I mean, the Robitailles are French. There's some indigenous history back there as well. But there wasn't a lot of French speaking on his side. So he made a great effort to speak French because he really wanted me to speak French, but his French was not so good.
right.
So
Which the going to the school and the French school made up for that, I'm sure. Fill in the gaps.
oh yeah, definitely.
Huh. That's an interesting experience. Okay. And
Yeah.
what type of like I know you did karate. Of course, we had to touch on the karate.
Oh
Um,
yes.
I know you're big into the cheerleading when you're in university.
Yeah,
Um,
accidentally, kind of.
so tell me how it's accident because obviously karate you told me you did from a really young age. How does that translate into this new venture when you're in university? But
Well,
also, did you have interest in it in high school?
no,
Hmm.
no, not at all. I mean, I think this stems from like coming from a small town, right? Um, grade 12, like 2008, 2009, in and around there. It was a different time. Like we were using like different language, like stuff that like if I said today, like I'd be mortified. Um, so like you know, let's take this out, not take this out of context here, but like it was the time when like you'd call everything gay,
Hmm.
right? Not really knowing, not really like understanding what that meant to say that. Um, right. And there was, people were still like not really comfortable with it, not at least in my circle, like, you know, and it wasn't until that first year of university where like you actually got to meet people from different backgrounds who were maybe part of the LGBTQ community that or like, you know, open your mind to like, hey, we can have these conversations and like speak about it, but also be aware that like, by using this language, you're offending this whole demographic of people.
Yeah.
So, I kind of had, and I'm, aware of it now, but like when I was in high school, I had these like blinders and like limiting beliefs on like, you know, oh, as a straight white man, like, no, like that is not something you do.
Hmm.
Um, and thank God that changed because I feel like that's a very narrow way to live. So anyway, I got to university. Um, I put on 30 pounds, the freshman 30, the first year. So that was good. I was doing a lot of running. I did a lot of running in high school. So I was doing triathlons and, trying to stay fit that way. Um, and then I think it was third year. There was a girl who lived on my floor because I was still living in res, who was on the all girl cheerleading team. And I told her like, hey, forever, like it's been my dream to learn how to do a backflip. So they're like, well, like let's do it. It's university. It's 2 in the morning. Let's go out to the quad. We'll spot you.
Recipe
So,
for success.
oh, right, right. So we go out there and having the martial arts background, like I've got pretty good like spatial awareness. Like I'm aware of my body, how it moves through like space, and like it's great, right? So they spot me for a few, and they're like, "Oh, you've got it." And it's like, well, I don't know. So like, okay, well, like throw another one. And they just didn't spot me, and I landed it. And they're like, okay, so you just did a backflip, and I'm freaking out. Like, oh my god, like lifelong dream come true. And then like, sure enough, I think like 2 days from then, she's like, there's a tryout for the team. Like, you have to come to the tryout. So I go to the tryout. Um, throw my back tuck. They're like, oh, great, like cool. That's like the first skill we try to teach people. Um, I try stunting, so like throwing girls up in the air and throwing them above your head. I'm like, this is so cool. Like, why haven't I been doing this for the last 3 years? So I'm like, they offer me a spot. I say like, yeah, I'd love to join the team. I couldn't make it to any of those summer practices, so I, go away for the summer. I work on like, throwing backflips every day kind of thing. And then I came back in September, did the tryout again, and luckily got a spot on the team.
Wow. So it was a
Yeah,
bit spontaneous in a sense. Not a bit spontaneous. It was
100%.
very
Yeah,
spontaneous.
yeah.
And like, okay, so you're already in like your third year university, so you're pretty comfortable at school. You join this. Did it open you up to like a whole new group of friends, like just people that you hadn't really interacted with before, or were there's already people that you had friends with that were in this in cheerleading?
Yeah, no, a whole new group of people. It was interesting. Like I worked as a ski racing coach as well while I was in university. So like I had the job. I was like on the varsity team. So like we were doing, we were training um, sometimes 5 days a week, and expected to train in the gym beyond that as well. Met a whole new group of guys. So like there's probably 18 guys on the cheerleading team. Like we were a very male dominated team.
Mm.
Um, and I attribute like a lot of like who I am today to some of the lessons I picked up while on that team, like overcoming like adversity and facing your challenges, and like taking things head on and taking responsibility for you know either like mistakes or um like triumphs or that kind of thing. So actually it's funny, like when I took all this stuff on, my marks went up.
Huh.
Like I'm so much busier, but like it just everything became like a lot more focused in. So it wasn't like, oh, I've got all this spare time. It's like, okay, no, this is my training time, this is my school time, and during those times I've got to do those things, because if I don't, it won't get done.
Right. You're like backed into a corner, forced to make sure you're on top of these things, or else you're going to let someone down.
Yeah.
And that's part of the ownership and taking accountability for like those mistakes or whatever, right?
Right.
Hmm. Okay, that's an interesting twist. So then you're in university, you do this. I know you, if we want to say you've won multiple championships for this through the country. So was that your first year that you guys went to the championship and did that? How does that all work? I don't know how
Yeah. So
cheerleading
I mean,
tournaments run.
yeah. So basically, if you've seen Bring It On,
Yeah, I have. That's the only thing I could compare to. I was going to
right?
say that too.
Yeah, no. So basically, you've got a like 2 minute 30, 3 minute routine. You throw stunts, you throw pyramids. There's a tumbling section, there's a dance section. You go out, you do your routine. There's technical scores, um, and then based on your score, your team places. You usually do the routine. I think it's 2 to 3 times, but it's been a while, so don't quote me on that. If anyone from Western Cheer, Trace, if you're listening, please correct me. Um, but yeah, so as of oh my god, I think that the national championships for university cheer has been running for something like 38 years. The team I was on has won 37 of them.
So you were literally at
So
the school that's designed for cheerleading, basically.
yeah, I would say, I mean, Queens has got a pretty good program going on now too. But in terms of like co-ed varsity level, like cheerleading, um, like Western is the most, I mean, some of the American schools are doing things crazy. Like, you'd go down there and probably get wiped by some of their teams. But in terms of like the collegiate cheerleading program, yeah, Western is dialed, and it's largely due to like the coach Trace, who's been there um, pretty much since the beginning. He's a legend.
Nice. Well, like, yeah, obviously he runs a pretty good program because you walked in and it literally added structure to the rest of your life. Uh,
Right.
that says a lot. That's cool.
Yeah. The two main takeaways is own the hill. So we do like every summer, every 2 weeks, we had a big like team workout. It was 4 hours. People always threw up. Like it was like poetically beautiful. Um, and we'd always finish with a hill workout. So you'd find a hill, you'd be doing sprints, you would be carrying like your person, like your top, like the person you'd be carrying them up the hill. You'd be doing like push ups sideways, like crawling up the hill, running up the hill back, like everything you could do up the hill, you would be doing up the hill. So like one of the mantras was like, own the hill.
Hmm.
You own the hill. You push his truck up the hill. Like that's like usually one of the like the finisher moves, if you will. Um, and the other mantra was celebrate your youth, right? You only got your youth for so long. Like, fucking make the most out of it,
Dude,
right?
that's so cool.
Work hard, work out hard, push yourself, like, celebrate the shit out of that. And
Dude,
even
people do
at
not do that
34,
enough.
like, even when I'm 54, I plan to celebrate my youth. 64, celebrate it.
I was
Like,
going to ask, how are you still doing that? Because, like, you have a child now. It's very hard to,
yeah,
continue to invest in yourself because you're investing in your wife and your home and your business and
right.
your daughter. So, like, I know you're doing a lot of running and stuff. Like, have you found it hard since having a child to like continue that mantra? Is it making it a bit more difficult?
The mantra, no. The mantra lives.
Yeah, the mantra is
Yeah.
physically. Is it
The act,
harder?
physically, the act of getting out there, um, it's a matter of like how it is a priority, but how can we incorporate it into the calendar,
Mm.
right?
Yeah, it's definitely a challenge. Time, like that's what you're versing, right? You're up against
Yeah,
time.
yeah. I heard somebody say the other day, like, man, I would do anything for 8 hours of sleep, and the person was like, have you thought about going to bed 8 hours before you have to wake up? They're like, well, no, I won't do that. Okay.
That's definitely my problem,
So I
man.
mean, like,
Yeah,
I think the same thing applies to like all this, like the training and running and all that. Like, okay, like I'd do anything to go running. Okay, great. Are you gonna wake up at 5:30 or 6 before everyone else is awake because that's the only time you have available tomorrow to go running?
yeah,
No,
100%, man.
right?
Um, yeah, there's the emotional impact of like, if you are going to have time, do you want it to be away from your family? That's the hard part too. Leaving your
Right,
wife, like you only get so much time together. You're also leaving her to take care of the child by herself, and
right.
there's all those things. The mental side of it. But
Yeah,
we keep trying, and as your kid gets older, as Alice gets older, like you'll have more time to do that with her, right? Interactive. That's where the fun happens.
right.
Becomes
Yes, put
easier to
her in
put
the
in the
buggy
calendar,
and go,
dude, for real. Or put her in,
right?
like, you go up the hill, like you said, up the hill with Alice on your back. That's what you're gonna
Yeah.
do. Cool. So you're going to university. Why Western? Like you're up in Mattawa. I don't know like is there a university in North Bay? I think there is, right?
Yeah, yeah, Nipissing.
So why Western? What was attractive to that?
Well, so I mean, I had two options. I went to school for health sciences. I wanted to go to med school. Um, so I got into Sciences de la Santé at the Ottawa University, and I got into health sciences at Western. Being from a French high school in North Bay, where Ottawa is like 3.5 hours away from North Bay, I would say 80% of my high school goes to Ottawa.
Mm.
I was like, you know what? Consciously or subconsciously or whatever, I was like, I think I want to meet some new people. So, I thought Western looked really cool in the brochures. Like it very castle like. Um, I thought purple was neat. So I was like, you know what? Let's go to Western. And I ended up being the only person from my graduating class who went to Western.
Wow.
Um, yeah, yeah. So
Did you
that
know
was really
anybody at
it. I
Western? Did you
mean,
know anybody from
no.
another school that was going there?
Well, I knew one person 1 year older than me who was at Western.
Interesting.
Yeah,
You were just looking to like
and then actually,
shoot
no,
in the dark.
that is wrong. I knew a couple people who went to other high schools that went to Western, but like I didn't know them closely,
I see.
right? So
Wow.
yeah,
That's a bold move. I think
yeah.
you're, from what I'm hearing, is you're kind of going to be known for bold moves.
Oh
Um,
sure.
you also like it
What do you
seems,
know?
yeah. Well, let's find out. Um, it seems like you have a real competitive side to yourself that I don't really see too much now. It doesn't mean you're not competitive. Maybe you just go about it differently. But you've been, whether it was karate or cheerleading, honestly anything else, it seems like you always get yourself in this competition or somewhere competitive. Is that by choice, or is it just happen that way? Is it your nature? Like,
I'm smirking a little bit because I would say quietly very competitive.
hmm,
I'm also I also feel like I'm supportive of the competition,
fair.
right? So like let's like if we look at real estate for example, I think there's enough to go around, right? I know like the biggest producers are doing the most, the lion's share of the transactions and I think the people who are doing a couple transactions a year are stealing from them, not necessarily from me. But when it comes to like stuff like my business, like yes, I want to crush my competition, but like I rarely say it. I'm saying it on a podcast right now, but like, I'm not gonna,
That's
go
fair,
around
dude.
being like, hey, yo, Mark Ferris, I want to crush you, right? Like I think Mark and the team over at Ferris, they have a very consistent product and they do it very well, and I'll be the first to compliment them on that. Um, right, but it doesn't mean that it's not going to be a motivating factor for me to get in there and perform at my best.
I feel like I can relate to this in a degree, and tell me if this is relatable to you. When you're a teenage male and you are athletic or you are competitive, you can see the toxicity in it. That toxic side of competition where you are putting people down, or you are, you know, being physical about it, being upfront about it, and it's not nice. It's not the greatest. And at some point, you learn that that actually has negative consequences. So
Yeah,
I found along the way that like there was a better way to be competitive, but also, like you said, be supportive and want everybody to win in their own way, right? And have fun and enjoy it.
yeah, absolutely. I mean, I like the good part of competition is if it's driving you to be better, that's a good thing,
Mm-hmm.
right? If it's driving you to be a dick, that's come on,
Seen that
like
too much.
that's right. You know,
Fair. I think that's it, man.
like
There's a difference.
I think you see it in real estate too, where like you negotiate a deal and it's like, you know, I'm coming at you with what I think is best for my client. You're coming at me with what you think is best for your client, and it's not personal. Like it's not like a hey, I'm going to beat you. It's like hey,
Mm-hmm.
we're both representing best interests. We don't have to be mean about it. We can be
I think
direct
they
and
say
like
the
firm and be like,
I think they say the best negotiation is when all parties feel like they've won, and that's where you hope to get in those
right,
conversations.
or lost equally.
Sure. Hey, yeah, that's it. Sometimes people think they
Yeah,
win, but they really didn't, and that's
yeah,
it's just how they perceive it, right?
yeah.
Um, cool. So I think next stage of your life, you're go to Western. Did you make it all the way through your program and graduated? So you have a degree.
I did, yeah. I did. Well, I did a victory lap, so I could have graduated after 4 years. I didn't know what I wanted to do, so in hindsight, doing a victory lap after high school is probably the much more financially uh, smart thing to do. But no, I decided to do it in university, so I stayed for a fifth year.
Okay,
Um,
you're just having too good of a time.
too good of a time. Uh, yeah, I wrote the MCAT, applied to med school, which sounds really impressive when you omit the fact that my even though my marks improved, they were still not great. So
Hmm.
I had no chance in hell getting into med school.
Is it that competitive?
Um, oh my goodness, yes.
Hmm.
Uh, like thousands of applicants. I think the school I wanted to go to was Thompson, the Northern Ontario School of Medicine between Sudbury and Thunder Bay. And I think they take like 84 students a year.
Wow.
Yeah.
Is that
So
something you
it's
could ever return to if you wanted to?
I suppose.
It's been a while. It's hard
So
to
I mean,
like
like,
something maybe you're not thinking about.
yeah. So I mean, I'd probably have to still up my grades, um, write the MCAT again, apply, get in. Tuition for med school ranges, I think, we're over $20,000 a year right now for
Yeah,
4 years, and then residency for anywhere from like 2 to 8 years, depending on what you're doing. Like, it's just no. I
why do we
think,
not have
and
doctors?
sorry, and that's part of why I didn't end up pursuing that more. Is like I didn't get in, and I was in a program where like 80% of the people were applying to med school. And I was looking around when like, the rejection letters came out, and more often than like the odds are you're going to get rejected.
Hmm.
Right. So I had a bunch of friends who were sitting there being like, oh man, I got rejected, and they were crushed. And I'm sitting there being like, I don't really care. So I was like, maybe I need to reevaluate this. Maybe I don't want it enough. Um, and it's at that point that I found a different career.
Yeah. So okay. So you finished university. What year is this?
It would have been 2014.
Okay. So 2014, and you're in where is Western exactly? Near London,
This is in
right?
London. Yeah.
Um. Okay. So you finished that, and then you end up in Hamilton, from my understanding. Is that right after that, or?
No, no. So, my wife, who I met at Western, I got my good old MR degree. Um, she was at Queen's. I stayed in London for another year. I worked as a non-emergent patient transport attendant and still did like the ski coaching thing. And she finished her master's at Queen's, and then we moved in with her mom for a little bit in Huntsville. Then we moved to Kitchener for 2 years when she got her first like real, I'm going to use real job in quotation marks, out of her master's program. Um, but she was working in the community while we were in Kitchener. In her setting, she's always wanted to work in a hospital. Excuse me. So an opening came up at the forensic hospital in Hamilton. She applied, got the job, and yeah, then we moved there.
Right. Now, I just got to get the timeline, and I wanted to touch on this because it was like such a cool thing when you told me. Where does karate fit in all this? Were you doing karate through university or at the beginning of university, high school? Like I know you did it all your life, but when did it really get to that national level? Like you were doing that?
Yeah. Um, yeah. So I started karate when I was like 5 because I, like a lot of young kids at the time, I loved the Ninja Turtles, the Power Rangers, like anything along those lines was like right up my alley. So my parents were like, well, karate seems like the natural fit. So I started doing that and like started competing like right away. And like competitions are I don't know, they're kind of fun in sport karate. You do like similar to cheerleading, actually, you do like routines, so like your forms. So you have like open hand, like traditional forms, like open category. You have weapons forms. There's something called musical forms where like you basically do your form set to like a choreographed song. And then there's like point fighting, which is like if you mixed like tag and like fighting together, you would get point fighting. So yeah, so I did all those things. And then when I was So I got my black belt when I was 11.
What? You can get a black
Um,
belt at 11?
a junior black belt. So
Okay.
like it was like, okay, you've been at this for 6 years. You've put your hours in. Um, so yeah, and then I got my full. I think I was 14. Um, so now like I ended up I got to my second degree black belt and haven't really done much with it in the last like, gosh, let's say 14 years, like ever since I left for university. But yeah, no. So when I was 13, I tried out for there's a bunch of different federations in karate. It's not like Taekwondo and Judo where like there's one federation. That's why you see those sports in the Olympics because there's no like, it's like one governing body.
Right.
Um, for like sport karate, there's like a whole bunch of different federations. So the World Karate Federation has like a world championship. So part of that, we have like national team tryouts. So I tried out for the national team, made the team, and then competed in Switzerland with them. And then through another federation too, like we did the World Kabuto Federation. I competed in France, in Quebec, and in Ottawa with that. And yeah, we brought home some hardware and had a good time.
Wow, those experiences are unique and special, I'm sure. I have a curiosity of because maybe if you asked me in my interview, but I have been in a few fights in high school. I was a little bit of a testy guy. Have you ever had that where in high school someone because people must have known you were into karate and stuff like that? Like, did anyone try to
Yeah,
push this with you?
I mean, sure, but at the same time, like the biggest like takeaway in karate is like you never get into a fight you can avoid,
Right.
right? So it was like, and I mean, I'm a big softy. I'm sensitive. You can hurt my feelings real easily. Like, right? So I was always more of a lover than a fighter, to be
Even back
honest. But
then? Even back then?
yeah, oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, you don't seem like the type that someone would want to pick a fight with, but anything's possible, especially when you're a
No,
boy. Like you just get in these situations sometimes.
yeah, no. The closest, I mean, it's not even close. I mean, I ever came. I went to a bar when I was like going back to North Bay for like the summer when I was in university, and I was at a urinal, and a guy at the urinal beside me was like, "Hey man, you want to fight?" And I was like, no, like I think I'm good, but like I hope you have a good night." He's like, "Okay, like thanks, you too." All right,
You didn't give him the full
great.
disclaimer. I'm a black belt.
No, no,
didn't
no,
even need to. Didn't even need to drop that.
no, no.
Interesting.
So
Okay. Um, okay. So karate kind of took you some places. That's cool. It probably gave you a lot of life experience and honestly, disciplines. I think karate's big on discipline, right? And
yeah,
structure and whatnot. So that's cool. I've been in a dojo here and there. My cousin, like I kind of mentioned before, was big into it. So I would go once in a while to their classes as like a sub in, and
nice.
got a little bit of a taste for it. But my parents like fighting on ice. Man, my mom would cringe, but I would fight in hockey all the time and getting shit, getting off the ice. So I don't think
Right.
karate was big in her eyes.
Yeah. It's a very controlled fighting, right? It's
Right,
like, and there's respect, right? Like if we're having if we're like having a match, like, we bow, we shake hands, we do all those things before and after,
right.
right?
That's
So
cool.
like,
So you did learn a
yeah,
lot about the respect of one person to another in a fighting scenario
yeah.
there.
And also like, I'm going to admit this in light of our last podcast. I got my ass kicked by a girl when I was like 13 at a tournament. I'm pretty sure her nickname was like the Bulldog.
Okay.
God, she was good. She just like she won everything. She just wiped the floor with
Hmm.
everyone. It was co-ed, right? Like it was point fighting. Didn't matter if you're a boy or girl. Like you were fighting each other. Man,
There's a level of
humbling.
respect earned right there. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Especially at that age. That's such a good age to get your ass kicked by a woman, I think. Every guy should go
yeah.
through that.
100%.
Every
100.
guy
Couldn't
needs a
agree more.
bulldog in their life.
Yes, yes. Wherever you are, I don't even know her name, but if you're listening to this, thank you, thank you
Imagine.
so
If she
much.
comments on this and says, respect, Ben, I will die.
Right?
Okay, so yeah, Western, then you're in Hamilton post school, and then you
Yeah.
are making a decision of where you're going to move. I'm sure you guys are in Hamilton. You kind of said you weren't sure that was the place you wanted to be. Where does Penetang, Midland, where does this area fit into this decision?
Um, at the time, it's got a
Yeah,
forensic hospital. That's the
right.
only criteria,
Mm,
right? So Kate working, she's an occupational therapist working in forensics. She loved her job in Hamilton, but it kind of came to a point of like, COVID was here. We were trying to buy a house in Hamilton. I was the realtor. So we put in like 6 offers on different places and didn't get them. And we were kind of like, maybe Hamilton isn't for us.
mm.
Um, so we started looking around the province of like, okay, who's a forensic hospital? So, there's St. Thomas, so just outside London. There's Hamilton, there's Toronto, I think Kingston, Ottawa, Penetang, North Bay, maybe Thunder Bay. I'm not sure. I don't think Thunder Bay, at least North Bay. Um, so then it was like, okay, of those options, what's closest to like, we see Kate's family a lot more than we see my family. So I'm like, what's closest to Kate's family? It's Penetang. We know very little about Penetang, but we're like, all right, it's an hour and a half away. Lifestyle wise, I think that would be a good fit for us. Are there any job openings? Oh, there's a job opening. Okay, maybe you should apply to it. Oh shit, you got the job. Okay. Guess we should find a house. Hey, this house is great. Should we put an offer in? Sure. Okay. And then 2 short months later, we moved to Penetang.
You make buying a house at that time seem so easy, which I know you said you had 6 offers in the city, lost, but it definitely
Yeah.
wasn't like that, I'm sure.
No. I mean, we got so fortunate with our house. I mean, it was on the market it was 4 days when we bought it. Um, we got it under ask in COVID
Which is
when everything
insane.
was going over ask. Um, we gave up some conditions to do that, but we had a safety net. So like, it was as smart of a purchase as it could have been at the time.
Right. No, it's a nice place, man. I think even location, like I love Penetang, so I can appreciate that.
Yeah.
You got your value.
Right. Brule Heights.
So I know we only have so much time here left, but I did have some other questions. We didn't really even get into some of my deeper questions here, but
Oh boy. Hit
one
me.
thing one thing I wanted to talk about, which like a lot of us as entrepreneurs kind of hesitate on making these big investments in ourselves sometimes, even though sometimes the answers are clear. If I spend this money, it's going to benefit my business or it's going to equal more money in my business or whatever. Where does, I know you have a coach. Um,
Yeah.
how important is it having that coach, and how is it like if you were recommending it to someone else, like what would you say?
Stop thinking about it and do it
Mm.
is what I would say. Yeah, no, it's nothing groundbreaking. Like it's not like, I feel like sometimes as entrepreneurs and people in this industry, you see videos and reels all the time on social media being like, hey, I did this and I generated like, $150,000 in GCI by using this one little trick. It's like, no, man. Like there's no tricks. There's knowing your shit, showing up every day and constantly trying to be better. Right? So coaching kind of helps with all of those. If you don't know your shit, it they can point you in the direction where you can go learn it. Right? And make sure you know it inside and out. The showing up every day, it's a lonely business. You in most cases pay to work, right? Like if you're at a traditional brokerage, you're paying a couple $100s a month to be there. And then everything you're bringing in, you're giving them a cut. They don't care if you're there Monday to Friday. They don't care if you show up for 2 hours a day or 12 hours a day, right? So having somebody in your corner to be like, hey, are you showing up the way you want to show up? Right? For me, in my ideal business, like, I'm working 6 to 8 hours a day, Monday to Friday. Now, I'm a realtor. I understand it doesn't work like that. I do work weekends. I do work evenings. It does happen. But in the instances I can control my schedule, that's what I strive for. Right?
And the accountability, right?
Unapologetically.
Like no one's there keeping you accountable, right? Your boss isn't keeping you accountable. You don't have parents, like maybe your spouse to some degree, but like,
Right?
yeah, you are kind of relying on yourself. So that coach is filling in on that part to
Yeah.
support you.
And then it also measures what you're doing that's working, right? Like if you don't know where your past transactions came from, that's like step one, right? And then knowing how to generate more business based off what you know has worked is pretty straightforward, right? Like I know every year half my business is going to come from repeat and referral clients. So anyone in my circle who's either referred me clients or are close friends and I know they will refer me business if it comes up, like I make sure those people know who they are and that they're appreciated.
Right.
And that's not rocket science. That's not like a quick like that's like just genuine connection and effort and um having somebody in your corner saying, "Hey, make sure you're putting in that effort," is priceless.
I think it's easy to reward those people because they're the ones betting on you. They're the ones putting their reputation on the line, supporting you, and so you can't thank them enough.
Right?
So important to your business. Every business doesn't matter what field you're in. You need those people.
Yeah.
So,
I'd
and how
rather
long do?
spend $30 a day buying those people lunch than $30 a day running an ad on Facebook.
Hell yeah, I'm down for that. Especially when you get to
Right?
spend time with them, right? Because
Right.
that's where the value is. Um, being born in 1990, being a millennial, and
91 to be
living
fair. Now my parents conceived me in
91,
1990, but yeah.
sure, 1991. I actually think I had 1991. Yeah. Living pre-internet. Do you think that has, at this point, I guess it's hard to know because we have so much experience with it now, but do you think it benefited you as a person or even in your business living pre the internet? Like living, like we're talking like pre social media, pre cell phones,
Yeah.
pre, like, I think there's some
That's
value in
that's an
that.
that's an interesting question. I think so my personality type is like I tend to be I think a pretty good listener like with my clients. And just in general, like if I feel like I'm in tune with emotions, right? Like if somebody's feeling a certain way, they might be saying one thing, but I'm like, listen, Larry, what's really going on? Right? Um, and I sometimes think that putting the phone down and like having that genuine like you're here, I'm here, let's have that connection. Um, I maybe attribute that to living in a world where like T9 texting was normal. And if you don't know what T9 is, Google it or ChatGPT it, whatever you kids are using out there nowadays. Um, right? But I don't think, you know, people who are born post that era are incapable of that either. So I like, you know, part of me thinks like, yes, I attribute some of my personality and some of my ability to do that to being like an early 90s kid. Um, but I think it's more correlation, not causation.
I feel like it depends, right? Like if your audience is, for us, our audience is broad. Like you could have people that are our age, people that are younger, people that are older. I
Yeah.
find, because I'm in similar stance, especially living in the country or small town, I feel like it gives me the ability to connect with an older generation because I understand the life that they lived in a sense, but
Right.
also connect with people that are younger because I understand both sides of it. So there's a bit of an advantage there. Where if you lived only in the social media time, only in the internet era, cell phone era, you probably can't connect that well with someone that's our parents' age, 50 to 70,
Right.
let's say. So that's where I feel like for some reason I connect really well with middle-aged men that are 55, and I attribute it to living before that time.
Right. But I mean, like, part of me thinks like that's got to be true throughout history. No, like,
Yeah, but when has there
you
been as
know,
big of leaps as there is now? Like these leaps are extreme compared to like when the first car was made or something.
right? But yeah, I don't know. I mean, you know,
We're
I
just
think
moving so
like right now,
fast.
like it's technology, but like maybe it was like a certain war, like back at the time, like, um, yeah, I, I don't know.
We don't
I'm
know
okay
because
though
we're
now.
also living in our own body. We don't know what other people are dealing with, right? Of different ages,
Right.
different generations. So I thought it was an interesting question. I think about it sometimes, like those social skills that you learned pre-internet. Yeah, just how life was before.
Yeah.
I think in the future, as time goes on, we'll talk about that. It's almost going to be like before Christ and after Christ. It's going to be like before the internet and after the internet, for real.
Right. Before Steve Jobs, after Steve Jobs.
Our Lord and Savior.
Right.
I'm probably going to leave you with one last question. I got to pick up my boys. Actually, one question that I have like four quick this or that.
Okay. Hit me.
Now that you're at 34, 35, do you
34.
think your
Let's easy there. Okay.
30s are better than your 20s so far, or like I'm crossing that line, so I'm like I hope and I'm looking at my 30s are going to be better than my 20s, but tell me where you feel about that.
They're different. I would say better for different reasons.
I like
I mean,
that.
I think largely like, I, you know, lost my dad while I was in my 20s, right? So I had a period of my 20s that was just like the dark ages that like I don't want to say never want to go back to, because like that that pain and like everything I went through at that time is part of who I am today, and I'm like unapologetically like that is part of me, and I love that and I accept that. Um there were parts of my early 20s where like I was a dumb kid. Like I made some dumb decisions. Um but like I also think I just tried to be a nice person and tried to like put kindness in the world wherever I can, and I had fun. Like you know, I think the same way everyone should, like you're you know when you're young, it's the time to like make those mistakes, right? Go try something new because it's fun and exciting, and it might change your life. It might turn into like this cool awesome thing. um right, like that's when I found acting, which like I still, like I'm 34 and I still do it to this day. Like I audition because it's I found it at 23 and like
Dude, there's so many layers we
fell
didn't
in
even
love
get
with
to.
it.
I like acting was like something we didn't even touch on. But
Yeah,
I feel like that was one of my questions was like, did you ever have moments in your life where you felt like things could have went in a different direction for the worst? And I think your 20s is there are a lot of moments like that where like if I made this one decision change, like it could have went in a totally different direction. Um,
totally. I've got to, on that note, give credit to, like, I had a family doctor when we were in Hamilton, because that, like, we were living in Hamilton when my dad passed, and I went through a very dark time. Um, and got to a point where went to my doctor and I said, hey, like I would like some medication to help me deal with this, because my behavior is all over the place. Like it's destructive. Like we're heading in a very dark direction. And my doctor said, what do you do for exercise? I was like,
that's a good doctor, man. That's a good doctor.
nothing. Yeah. So he's like, listen, I hear you. Like I felt like heard, seen, like all the emotional things I needed to like feel from that doctor. But he's like, before I prescribe you medication that's gonna, we're gonna start playing with the chemistry of what's going on inside of you. He's like, I would like to like prescribe you exercise. Like, what did you used to do? So I was like, oh, I used to run in high school. He's like, great, running's easy. We're going into COVID. Like, um, you can keep doing that with like limited barriers. He's like, try that for 6 to 8 weeks and come back and see me. He's like, if you don't need to see me, go ahead and cancel your appointment. But otherwise, 6 to 8 weeks, try it out, see how it goes. So I found a little running plan, had some structure, had some exercise, and like all of a sudden, like I think just like cognitively, I was able to like process things a little bit better, a little bit more. And it didn't get better overnight, but like over the next year, 2 years, 3 years, like things got better. Um,
I think that's a great story. To
like
anyone that's listening
just
that can relate to that or is going through something like that, like take away
yeah,
the importance of those little things in life, like
right.
exercise, how it can make a
Still, like
difference.
if you're having those thoughts, like go see your doctor still,
By all means, yeah, of
right?
course.
Like please don't. This is not medical
Search
advice,
for
but
help, period.
yes,
Um, I am running terribly behind, but
I'm
this or
sorry.
that concert to go see Beyonce or the Beatles.
Oh, Beatles,
Cool.
easy, easy.
Um, film, you're going to sit down and watch a trilogy. Is it Lord of the Rings or Hunger Games?
It's probably going to be Lord of the Rings, but Hunger Games isn't far off of there.
Okay. I
Uh,
thought you might be a Hunger Games fan. I just had a feeling.
I do like Hunger Games, but I feel like the Lord of the Rings is a more complete, full, like meaty trilogy.
Hard to beat, man.
Yeah, especially if you
Um,
got extended versions.
right? Oh, the
See
extended.
you in 2 days.
Yeah. Take some
Yeah,
time, but worth it.
yeah.
Are you a winter person or a summer person?
Probably more winter.
I had a feeling you
Yeah,
like to ski and stuff.
yeah, absolutely. Although
Um,
my driveway is the bane in my existence right now.
yeah, not looking forward to that today and tomorrow, maybe.
Right.
Last question. Would you rather paint or be painted? I don't know
what
why that just came to me.
what am I painting?
Someone else. Like, you have to paint
Probably
someone else
yeah.
or get painted?
I think I'd rather paint somebody else. Fun fact, I hated getting my face painted when I was a kid.
I still hate it.
I think I did one play in grade 7. Other than that, no acting experience before 23. And I had to get my face painted and like I almost quit the play. Like it
It's
was
worth
I
quitting over.
ooh, yeah. So paint.
Not a fan.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, thanks for letting me dig deep there. Um,
Yeah.
it's hard to go through someone's entire 30 plus year old life. There's a lot of different things, but I think it says a lot about your character talking about, I don't know, these different parts of your life that you've been through, seen, done things. Um, Again, my life has been pretty plain Jane for the most part. So I think
Oh, we'll see about that.
yes, we will. Um, but yeah, so I appreciate you allowing me to do that. And I hope our audience just knows you that bit more. They really should, because there was a lot. Um,
Aw.
but
Well, thank you, Richard. This has been great. It's nice to like not that I prep a whole lot for our episodes anyway, but like I just showed up today. It was quite nice.
it runs smooth, man. Yeah, it's also
Yeah.
nice to know you a little bit more. I think that's always just a benefit
Yeah.
to it all, just like our own guests.
Right. And just again, a reminder to our guests, make sure you get followed on all those platforms. If you've made it to the end of the episode here, go through my droning today. Again, we're going to be doing an episode on Richard next week, so you're going to want to make sure you tune in for that. And yeah, like I said, we're going to take a couple of weeks off for the holidays and come back at you with some great guests. So if you haven't subscribed, what are you waiting for?
It's called the open house because it's so welcome.
Right?
So
Put your name on the sign-in sheet. Get in here.
Awesome. Well, I got to
Yes.
run, so
All right. Well, thanks everyone for stopping by our open house.
thanks. I hope you enjoyed the snacks, and come by the next time the house is open. Take care.
Bye.